My hope is that this is the only year that we should have to actually buy garlic seed heads. The idea is to plant enough that we'll have enough cloves to plant next year also. I've got a couple different kinds coming in. I'll talk to you about those when we get them in. But right now we have to get this raised bed filled and get our soil ready in order to plant them when it comes in. So I've got a couple different bags of things I want to add. The main thing that we want to do is lots of compost, lots of manure, and lots of humus. The first thing I'm going to put down is I did buy a little bit of garden soil. I usually don't like to do that, but this is a fresh garden. I want to get this dirt loosened up a little bit more mended, and it's just going to make this bed a little bit fuller for that garlic to make sure that it really does good over the winter. So that's the first thing I'm going to go ahead and put in, and then we'll add a couple other things to it too, of course, to get those good nutrients and everything for the garlic. One thing I meant to mention, guys, too, is that I do want to break up this actual ground soil before I put everything on top of it. So I'm going to do that real quick before I actually add the bags to it. The 3 bags of garden soil that you probably saw me adding, the 3 green bags, and then I added 4 40-pound bags of topsoil that I've actually had and have not used. They've been here on the property, so I added those in, and I tilled it up with the pitchfork to get it mixed in with that soil that I had broken up down below. That's the original garden soil, and I'm going to go in and add a few other things. I have a compost and peat combination. I have 4 bags of those that I'm going to add in first. They're 1 cubic foot a piece, so I'm going to add those in. I've had those around. I've talked about this before, guys, that from now on, after taking a botany course and learning a bit more about peat, I will not be using peat anymore because I didn't realize the ecological devastation, if you want to call it that, that goes into actually harvesting sphagnum peat moss. So I won't be using that anymore, but I did already have those bags, so I'm going to add those in first, and then I'm going to go in. I have an Earth Grow organic humus and manure combination. Then I'm going to go ahead and add that in, and then I'll show you where we're going from there. Okay guys, so I didn't add all 8 bags of the organic humus and manure. I only added the 7, and I think that's plenty. Honestly, probably could have gone with 6, but now I'm going to take my fork and I'm just going to go in and mix the 2 different types of the compost, the manure, and the humus together a bit. Get that humus and manure top layer worked down in just a little. Put some bone meal over the top of this and work it into about 3 inches of the soil or so. Using my fork again, I'm just going to kind of press it in. You'll see what I'm going to do. But I did break my son way up on the deck while I'm going to do this, especially. That all worked in. That's the last thing to do for now, besides to wait a couple days for the garlic to come in, and then we'll talk about the different types of garlic I got, how we're planting them, what other steps we're going to take, all that good stuff. For you, it'll be in just 1 second. For me, it'll be a couple more days to wait for it to come in, so I will see you in a minute. Hey guys, so it is now Sunday and we're back. My garlic finally came in yesterday, but it was a very rainy day, so we're out here today to plant it when it's a bit warmer and a bit nicer weather for planting. I had 3 pounds of garlic come in, 3 different varieties. The first variety I ordered was a California Early White. I did a pound of that. That is a soft-necked garlic versus a hard-necked garlic. They say that it's good for beginner growers. It's really hardy. The thing about soft-necked garlics is they're not as robust of a flavor. They don't do as well in the cold, but they're gonna last a lot longer in storage, and they're really good for braiding and hanging and that kind of thing. I got one other soft-necked garlic, and that is in, I hope I'm saying this right, in Chilean red garlic. Now this is gonna be a little bit more robust than the white garlic that I have here. The white garlic is on the more mild side, and I have reasons I got all of these for the different ways that I cook with it and all that good stuff. This is a little bit more robust. It's one of those garlics that kind of has the nice pink tint to it, the little lines in it. So I'm looking forward to that one. And this was actually under recommendation to me from my father, who's grown it, who absolutely loves garlic. And then the third that I got is a hard-necked garlic, which is a German red. The thing about hard-necked garlics is, especially up here in the north, they're very hardy in the cold, but they're not going to last as long in storage. They're not very good for braiding. They don't keep nearly as long as the soft necks. So what my plan is to take my hard-necked garlic, and I'm going to use this next year when I do all those picklings, to pickle some garlic itself, all the canning recipes, things like salsas and things like that. It's a much, much spicier garlic than the soft-necked garlic. Jeez, tongue twisters here. So I'm going to use it for those things, and then I'm going to keep the soft-necked garlics in storage for my everyday cooking. I put garlic in just about everything, so I'm going to keep that on hand to throw in all my dinners and all that good kind of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and get planting these. I'm going to separate each kind, and that way we'll know how it works. The first thing we have to do is go ahead and separate our bulbs into cloves, but we're not going to remove that papery skin. We're just going to break it apart into its cloves. And while we're doing this, I'm going to try really hard to make sure that I don't damage the bottom of it. That's where our roots are going to come out, and the very tip of it is where our greens are going to come out. Now right now I'm just working on the early whites, but I did want to show you before I have them all broken up the difference in the size cloves that there are here, from very, very large cloves to medium-sized cloves to very, very tiny cloves here. So the plan is I'm breaking them all up first. I'm going to go ahead and plant the ones that are like this first, and then we'll move on to these guys. And then if there's any space left, we'll plant these little tiny guys. But these little ones really aren't going to give us a good sized garlic next year. So the plan is anything that's left over that won't fit in there will all be around this size, and we'll just bring those in to cook with right now and stick to planting these nice, really big cloves that'll give us nice big heads next year. Now I'm going to go ahead and plant these in the trench method. I could very well go ahead and dig a hole for each one, but this will really let me see their placement, and it will also make sure that I don't disturb the garlic next to it that I just planted, trying to dig and cover the hole for the next one. These bulbs, these cloves, are going to get planted about 2 inches deep. I'm going to plant them 4 inches apart each. Now you'll hear different things on how far apart to actually put your rows. I've seen everything from 6 inches to giving them a foot of space. Now, because this is a raised bed and I'll easily be able to walk around and access all of my rows, I don't need that space in between to be able to walk without disturbing the bulbs that are trying to grow. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do my trenches just 6 inches apart and fit as much garlic as we can into this bed here. the winters do get quite cold here, I'm going to go ahead and protect my garlic from those low teens and single-digit temperatures that we'll get here during the winter. So I'm going to cover this over with a really thick layer of mulching hay and then some grass clippings from the yard. And then when spring comes around and we're out of danger of those really low temperatures, we'll go ahead and rake this off the top of it, nice and gentle, and make room for those sprouts to come up and find their way to the sunshine. Took some of the hay and dirt from right to the right of this where my potatoes have been planted and built it up along the outer edge of the raised bed here, because I did do one row of garlic very close to the edge of the bed, and that'll just help insulate that garlic a little bit, and hopefully it'll keep it from getting too cold during the winter time. Alright guys, so we got that done in perfect time before the sun is about to go down here and give me time to clean this mess up and bring it inside. As you know, I do have some of this leftover garlic of the little mini bulbs, so we'll bring that inside to do some cooking, and otherwise I'm going to do an experiment for some kitchen grown garlic, so definitely watch for that video coming out. It'll be a little bit of time, but it will be out this winter. If you guys like this video, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, definitely do. We have a blast sharing everything that we do around here, and it's so fun being a part of this community. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for all of your support. I hope you enjoy your week. I love you all. God bless, and bye-bye.